Hey, hey, hey! This is Best Practices Unveiled. This podcast is a judgment-free zone where we will have real open conversations about various topics. Our objective is simple yet profound. We're going to provide you listeners with valuable insights and wisdom from engaging guests and a passionate host. Best practices are not a quick fix. They represent a lifelong journey of growth, learning, and continuous improvement. We are creating a space that embraces inclusivity and shared experiences, offering something for everyone. Stay tuned. Hello, thank you for joining us today. Welcome to Best Practices Unveiled. Today we have a special treat for you. We've had this guest on our platform in the past, but today we're going to be highlighting something special, something that is very dear to me and something that she is very passionate about in the early child care field, and this is advocacy. So today we have Tasheba Berry, who is actually the legislative liaison for the Florida Family Child Care Home Association. And her advocacy work goes beyond the state association. So welcome, Tasheba.
I'm so grateful to be on, and I can't wait to share what we have been doing in the association.
Great, great. Happy to have you here. I just want to commend you on the work that you have done, the work that you continue to do. I was so happy to be a part of the Children's Week experience where we attended, I think it was, how many of us?
It was about 13, well, 13 did the day-to-day, and in total we did the advocacy dinner, so it was about 16 of us.
We all got together and as our state association, and we headed to the Capitol in Tallahassee during the week called Children's Week, where we did advocacy. I'm going to allow Tasheba to kind of get in a little more in depth on what that was like. But before we get started, I just want to, reflecting on that, what stood out to you the most about the advocacy efforts this year from policy influences?
Well, I guess I really got to go back into just saying what stood out to me the most was how Family Home came together as an organization, as individuals, as educators, and really stood for what they believed in. Because without the educators in family child care, we wouldn't have had the opportunity even to have a voice, because it starts with the educators first, even for the voice to be heard at the capital level, at local levels, with agencies or anyone that really pushed the needle to go to a next level. So that was like the biggest impact I saw this year, that family homes took a stand and stood for what they believed in, and even if it wasn't the mass majority, a lot of them did get together and start voicing how they feel about things in their business.
I agree. I agree. And I think that that is one of the biggest takeaways. I hope that the audience is able to receive that when we come together as a collective and we speak, our voices can move mountains.
Oh.
I mean, it's one thing to have a concern, a complaint, something that you may have a vision where you can see change in a certain area, but when you come together and it's more than just one person and you're able to bring that concern to the forefront in order to make change, that's powerful.
Oh, that was real deep.
And we did that.
Yeah, no, when I tell you from across the state, from Miami to Tallahassee, individuals just showed up in a way this year that I haven't seen in a very long time collectively, and it was to serve a purpose.
Absolutely.
So it was really, they wanted to learn more. They wanted to do more, and everyone who did want to do more or learn more wasn't able to make it to Children's Week, but they made sure the information was in the rooms of the people that the information needed to be in the rooms of.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. So not only did you do a lot of advocating informing us of the different bills and processes. You were also part of, you did an internship with the Children's Forum, where, how did that shape your understanding of policymaking at the Capitol? How was that experience influence your current role in advocacy?
Well, as I would say to anybody going into something, sometimes you sign up for stuff, you really don't know what you're getting into. But when I got into it, it really showed me it's not about Republicans or Democrats. It's really about how can we work together and make things happen. One of the biggest takeaway was collectively, it was a group of us, I think about like 15, 16 individuals from across the state of Florida, from different agencies or educators in different levels of the field, teachers, directors, owners, different organizations of like EOCs and things like that, that came together on same issues but different opinions, and it was okay. It showed that we all are here to advocate for a need, a want, but it's how we do it and then how we stand up for it. So collectively, being in the fellowship that I was in with the Children's Forum, it showed me how to work with those who are not just in the educational field, but I need everybody to come together.
Right.
This is not a just I thing, this is not what I feel, because my beliefs can help shape somebody else's belief, and then we all come together, and that issue that been burning in us really has an impact to a legislator. And then what it taught me was tell your story, but you don't have to go with the drawn out stories that take 6 weeks, because nobody has time to hear that. So really how to narrow down my story in 2 to 3 minutes. Like, you got to get it in, understand it, know the facts. And if you don't know something, it's okay. Let them know you'll get back to them. Because we want to go in a room and know everything
about what's happening,
or say too much that it draws them back.
Right.
So it really taught me how to tell my story, because I love to tell stories. I'm a storyteller, but I learned how to just narrow it down and really be impactful, and then bring in what needs to be brought to the table. Leave it at the table, but then go back and say, okay, what else we need to do to help the change locally? Because it's not just Children's Week, it's not just talking to 1 or 2 legislators. It's so much to be done in our counties that need to start there before we even get to all of these other, I call it the fun things that people run around, and it's, you shake your hands and things like that.
I agree. So sounds like it's more like a community effort.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And before we get to Tallahassee, there's work that needs to be done, because once you get to Tallahassee, that's when you're meeting, that's when you're voicing. So tell us about some of those steps that happen before we get to Tallahassee.
Really just knowing what's the issues, and then with any issue, do we have a solution for it? Because you can be the legislator and I'm coming to sit at the table with you, and you have no clue what family child care is. So understanding what is family child care, I'm just using that as an example because we both are educators and we know that area. So now I have to explain that, and don't get offended when someone don't know
what they don't know.
Right. You got to be okay with them not knowing,
right.
But then you got to know how to explain when they don't know something,
right.
And then have your facts. Understanding the process of the whole process doesn't just come overnight. So what's the issue? Do you have a solution for it, or can they help you find a solution? Because they're not just the problem solvers. It take us, the collective of family homes, to get together and really say, okay, let's go to the drawing board with this.
Right.
And if we want a bill to be put in place, we have to be able to articulate ourselves to a point that they understand what we need, and be okay that some of the language that we saying is gonna be taken out of it, put in, they're gonna tweak, they're gonna change. But it's all about, don't get offended.
Right.
Because we can't come in with our own as me. It's about me. No, it's not, it's a collective.
Right.
And then, building those relationships, because you gotta know who's doing what in what committees, who's there, and then also the ones that's not just say in the educational committees, when they all get together, when it's time to vote, they need to know what's going on as well.
Right.
So we got to work with everybody. So that's why I said what I really learned was it's not about the Democrats or the Republicans. It's about how can we work this together to make the issue become a solution and pass this bill.
Talk a little bit about that process when it comes to the bill. I mean, I know there's a presentation, and like you said, you have discussions, you may have a concern, and then how was it voted? How was it passed? You know, give us a little bit of that.
So this year, we was able to really see the bill move. The bill has been there 3 years, the large family home bill. But to really see the process of how they took wording out and how things was changed in the process quickly, going through the different committees, and being able to see how they was voting yes and yay, and it was just so great. But the discussions, because some people really wanted to know what's a large family home. You know, people know what's homeowner insurance. Oh wow, how is it affecting an individual? So I had to walk in rooms where people was familiar with family home, but they didn't know that was a family home in that perspective. It was like, oh, my aunt had something like that,
Right.
or oh, the lady up the street who was watching kids. So they didn't ever put two and two together. They probably just thought that maybe some of them was babysitters, but they was licensed. They didn't see the benefit till they saw the benefit of it. And this is one of my things before I get more into the bill is everybody had to be educated at some point to even get to being in a position of a representative in any level.
Right.
So if it was some type of nanny, preschool education, somebody, your grandma stayed home with you, you got some form of education. So it all started in a home.
Absolutely.
We don't think about it like that. It started in a home.
Right.
But we decided to start businesses in a home that's licensed and regulated by DCF and all of these different things. And no one takes the time to understand that it's a business.
Mm-hmm.
And when I went out to explain this bill, it was like, if a large family home lose their status and go back to a regular size home, we thinking about employment now.
Right.
They're gonna lose an employee. And a lot of times the employees has been with that person for 10, 15 years, because these are people that's been in business a very long time. They are very consistent with their business. They don't just, you just don't sell out a family home. With a center, you can sell it to somebody else and you got a new ownership. In a home-based business, they are in business 20, 30 years. So it's them and they staff normally be with them for a great period of time.
Absolutely.
So I had to explain that to them that they're gonna lose that employee. So now that employee is unemployed. And now that family,
Workforce.
yes, now it's back to the somewhere to find a job or get unemployment if they qualify for it and all of these different things. And it's like, wow, I didn't know that. They didn't know because nobody been telling.
Right.
So to advocate for it, I had to understand what fully was a large family home. So I have to give them that information. Then they go and they get together as legislators and they talk about it and they call each other, they aides call other aides. So it's a lot of work behind the scene that I'm not a part of, because they'll ask for letters, they'll ask for people to come and speak at a committee. They ask for all of these things to help the bill pass, because now, remember, we go back to telling the story. Your story as a large family home would impact the listeners.
Right, because they want to, it sounds like since you brought it to their attention, they're like, okay, let me hear more. Who else knows about this?
Yes.
This large family child care. And I just want to explain to the audience that, like she's expressed it, we're both educators, and a lot of time we're educators and we provide a service for children and families. But like she said, we are family child care educators. She has had the experience of being a center owner as well, but we both serve the community and we both serve families. However, as a family child care educator, we don't receive the same acknowledgement and value placed on us as the centers do, because most people, when you think about child care, you're going to take your child to a daycare center, you know, and when you see that people are practicing quality child care in their homes, we're looked at as just babysitting.
but we have to go through licensing, we have to go through the same requirements. It's different business models, different licensing requirements, of course, because of ratio and things like that. But you know, we have to do the same contracting work, the same paperwork, we get the same violations, and we're a business just like they are. So we need to be acknowledged, we need them to see and understand that we are equal, but yet we are a lot different. So the advocacy comes in because we need people to know and understand who we are as family child care educators.
And it's a business. It's a business, and it's a business in the home, and I think a lot of times they don't understand that. So it's a lot of work has to be done. But I will say this year, we had them to understand that. We walked in rooms where, because of the advocacy work and people, they took notice to family child care. They understand more about family child care. People has been stepping up, organizations has been stepping up and really saying, we pushing this large family home bill, like really pushing it. So I think we've been making enough noise. The ones that has been really great leadership across the state for years has impacted so many different organizations with their presence and the quality of service that they offer, that now people are understanding. It's not that they didn't know what family child care was, it was just that it wasn't enough voices. But we when I say baby, we came in a pack this year. We've been holding meetings and talking, and we have been uplifting each other to go out and say, your voice is just as powerful as my voice.
Absolutely.
I can't do it without you. And when I tell you, I'm so proud of the women that's in family child care this year. It pushed me even more to say, we just getting started.
Absolutely, I agree, because it seems like, you know, a lot of times, because of how we have been seen as educators or not seen, you know, it kind of makes you become reclusive. You just sit back and do what you need to do, and you really don't speak up. But I think now that they're seeing, you know, especially those that were able to attend this year, you know, we had some new people to attend, and then, you know, with us sharing all the information out on social media, on different platforms for our members to see, and just people in the childcare industry, they're starting to see that, wow, you know, this can really be impactful if I just, you know, share my story, you know. And sharing your story, like she said, doesn't necessarily mean you're talking about your parents not paying you. You know, it may just be, you know, the fact that your insurance is about to be canceled because you are operating a family child care home and your insurance company doesn't want the liability. Or, you know, it may be something else detrimental that's gonna impact you and your livelihood. So not understanding that you don't have to sit in silence with that. You know, if it's something that you need help with, that's why we have these organizations, these associations, so that you can network. We have them on a state and national level. You know, we have NASCC as our accrediting body for, you know, our program. So again, we're not just sitting home watching TV. You know, we are educating these children holistically. Right?
I mean, to see it now, and because we have been so put in a place where it's like, oh, you just here to be with the kids, you can't leave your home. To watch women go back to school over 50.
Right.
To watch women go and say, you know what, let me elevate my business and recreate a business plan, a business model to come into the new era of 2025. Let me change the way I'm thinking, because this is not my stop and it's not my end, but I'm gonna create an exit plan so I can retire and be in a place where I'm comfortable. To watch women say, I don't care sickness or health, death do me part, I'm going to advocate for this business. I mean, for the phone calls, to see other women text and let me know, hey, I'm here, I'm at the Capitol, I'm with my ELCs, I'm here doing this, or, you know, check in and just keep an update. The impact has shown me that I gotta say it again, we just getting started. So I really hope people are ready, because the movement is gonna be, it's so real that I don't know if people really understand that we not sitting in silence anymore.
Absolutely.
And we're not just gonna be in the back of the rooms, because if they in the room with me, I'm gonna make sure they in the front of the room and their voices are heard. So yeah, we gotta just, we changing the game. We ain't even trying to change it anymore. We're gonna be out as a force in the different counties doing what we need to do to make sure family home, where they started, is not where they're gonna end.
Right, and that we're here for the longevity.
Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, like we're talking about a lot of improvement. We're talking about a lot of change that has taken place just from us being more comfortable and ready to speak up. What were some challenges that you experienced during this process of learning what happens behind the scenes?
I think the biggest challenge, and I know it's kind of picking back to what I started, was having individuals feel like they have a voice. Because the movement was there for us, but a lot of times they was okay with one voice being heard, you know, or a few voices in different counties. But now that those voices that people consider like a very impactful voice, as myself or yourself, we stood up and told other people, you got the same voice.
Right.
So that was like the biggest challenge, to get people to understand that you gotta own it. This is your business. A lot of the agencies and organizations, I think they've been waiting on us to do this.
Right.
They really been waiting for us to step up, and they had our back. But because if you sit in silence and you sit back and don't say anything, everybody's not coming to rescue nobody.
It's true.
And we have that come save me mentality, but I don't want to do anything for it.
Victimization, I say.
There we go. So this year, to be able to have people to amplify their voice to a level of, oh, I'm in business, I got this, I can do this, this not hard. Even if this, your voice don't say you gotta talk with your words. It could be you typing an email and sending out some things, or just texting some other people and telling them. So we think that we gotta stand in front of the cameras and everybody gotta go to the meeting and everybody gotta show up. It takes you, who maybe don't come out, to be the person that does the mass emails or do the WhatsApp chat. So whatever it is, we need you too.
Right.
Everybody's needed. Everybody gotta come collective. We said it before. We all gotta come to be collective. So I don't think it was people, when I walked in rooms, I don't know if I brought a light to the room, but they were just like, tell me more.
Right.
Tell me more. I was in DC. Tell me more. And then to meet fellow colleagues in DC when I went there for the NACI policy forum, that was even great. And then I was with centers, and it was like, oh wow, I never even knew that. So everybody was just like, tell me more.
Right.
It wasn't no, oh, I don't want to hear it. It was like, tell me more, tell me more. So I didn't see any major issues, because I know how to stand in front of the camera. I know how to go behind the emails. I know how to do the texts and the chats and all of that. But the issue I saw was just getting people to believe that their voice mattered any way they did.
And we can collectively collaborate. And like you said, it doesn't necessarily mean that they have to, be the lead.
Yeah.
Because as we always say, we understand that everybody doesn't want to lead.
Oh no.
But we do need your voices. We do need, like you said, your input.
Yeah, your support.
In order to make change and be impactful with it. And I would also say, a lot of times we don't really know what's happening, and the expectation is for someone else to bring you the information, and that's okay sometimes. But when it comes to, I think, your livelihood, which that's what this is, and if whether it's a funding that's going to be impacted because of budget cuts, or if it's because of just major changes, then you definitely want to have some information, some insight, so that if and when we do need to come together and stand to be heard, then you can definitely have some input and know what's going on, and not be just be impacted.
And then think it's somebody else's fault.
Right.
Because you have to go, and I tell people it's 24 hours in a day, and hopefully you get at least 8 hours of sleep. I can't reach, it's according to DCF, we got 2,500. I'm one individual, you're one individual. We can't reach all of them in a day.
Right.
And something might be happening right away that we need you guys to just do. Like, I might need you to just get on the phone, you call 5, you call 5. Once we hit a email or our group chats or however it go, it's time to move.
Right.
It's not time to be waiting and trying to, and I had to remember, no, this livelihood, we gotta write these letters, we gotta put this information out there, so we need you right now. And I know, especially in family child care, we have an older population of women that's in it, but I'm gonna say this to you guys today. If you got daughters, granddaughters, nieces, or nephews, all of them sons, help y'all parents out, because they started it.
I agree.
They paved the way for us, and we want them to still be able to be in this as advocates, as our history, them to come back and tell us some of the stories that they seen change that occurred. So we want them to be able to come back or be a part of this, even if they just got a few of their friends together to say, okay, we're gonna write one letter, and we're gonna just send it out, and you know how to send it through the scanner, and you know how to press the send for the email.
Exactly.
We need everybody, because one or two of us can't do it by ourselves.
Right.
But we see more and more of the advocacy in family child care growing.
Yes, I agree. And even like you said, getting parents involved.
Oh, definitely.
In what's taking place. Because when I was in Tallahassee, my parents were, you calling and texting, how's everything going, this and that.
Yeah.
I'm so proud of you, things like that. So it's important because, again, if we're impacted, they're impacted.
Oh.
It's just a full circle, because, again, we're servicing our community, we're servicing the children, the parents have to go to work.
Oh.
And even when it comes to the things like the budget cuts that are really impacting early childhood education, it's really difficult when you think about the subsidy programs that are out here. You have the Head Start that's being impacted. Like I said, subsidy, where that helps parents who really can't afford full tuition for childcare. Thinking about, cutting that and eliminating some of those things for children. What's gonna happen to those children who come to our programs where we have the food program and we're able to provide their meals, or just being able to, some of them have situations where they need to be with us throughout the day, and if we are not able to fund them, in order to come, we have to, these are things I don't think as educators we're really thinking about. Sometimes I think we get caught up into, I'm not saying that they are minute when you look at the larger scale of the things that are really happening in our industry. I'm not saying dismissing anybody's personal issues in their programs. We all have them.
Yes.
But even in that space, we can work collectively to talk about it and maybe give some advice on things that you could try to do different in order to kind of smooth those things out. But when we're talking about something like, not existing anymore, that's
deep.
Yeah, it is.
That's really deep. When I think about SR, school readiness, and they're trying to do a large cut, and at the same time they're trying to pass a bill where they increase the poverty level from 150 to up, and then you think about, okay, they increase it so then more people can come in because of minimum wage going up. If you go over, right now we at $13 an hour, and this year, September, we'll be at 14, and in 2026, 15.
Right.
People, $14, $15 an hour is not sufficient for no one to live. So if I get a raise for 50 cents or $1 or $2, I lose my school readiness for my child. So now, do I stay in poverty and say, okay, I'll stay on all of these other services where I can get off of them, so somebody else who is in need to get these services can get them? Or I just say, okay, forget it, I'm not gonna work because I want to keep my school readiness or my Head Start. How are we elevating the community if we not pushing the needle up? and then when we try to push it up, now we're bringing 50,000 people down in the process. So as educators, as parents, as families, I don't care if you got $1 billion or you have $2. We all are people, and everybody's status is at a different level of life. And I can remember getting school readiness for my children when they was much younger, and getting a lot of different services and things like that. And at that time of my life, I needed those services.
Right.
I really needed that because I was young, a mom, and I think then I was probably making like $8. I don't even know, $5, $6, $7, something.
Right.
You know,
it wasn't enough.
It wasn't enough then. So
Right.
I was making that, and at the end of the day, you know, I use Head Start. I use all of these different services, but I didn't stay on it forever.
Right.
I learned to elevate with the services and say, okay, well, I need this for the time period, and I got a better job, and I went back to school, and I started a business, and I did another bit. So you can see, I speak from experience of the woman that had the kids and needed the services and did all of those things. And yes, we all have our own story, our own journey. But if they just say, well, let's keep cutting the funds, now we got more people on the street, living out of their cars, living under bridges, laying on sidewalks, because mentally, they can't handle it. Mentally, a lot of people don't have family that can say, okay, I'll give that $250 a week for your child to go to childcare. We thinking $250 a week?
Or more. And
Oh,
that's
yeah.
$300 if you got an infant.
Yeah, so, and
That's
then
like
where you located at? And how far is childcare? So now I need gas, or I need a bus pass, and I need all of these services where we can still help the community, but then also teach them how to move from this point to this point without pushing them back 50 steps.
Yeah, and we definitely, that's something that I'm sure is a lot of buzz about too, all the, like I said, the budget cuts, because, you know, all the things that we just discussed does not impact the upper class people.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's middle class people and these people who are working to sustain themselves. We definitely need these services. We definitely need the funding. So we just got to keep pushing and having these conversations openly where they can understand that it's not that you do have some people that abuse the systems. We understand that. We know that. But, you know, that's not what we're promoting here.
No.
What we're definitely promoting is the fact that it needs to be understood that the children in the community need these services as well. Right?
Yeah, the families, definitely,
Absolutely.
and teach one, reach one, you know. And just as I piggyback, we all at some point needed help. I don't care if you're a billionaire, millionaire, you're in the middle class, lower, we all need some type of help. If it's mentally, physically, financially,
Right.
We all need some type of help. And we don't just pull back help or take away something.
Snatch it.
Yeah, just snatch it by the collar and just say that's it for it. We gotta gradually teach somebody how to get, and then it's who you're around.
Yes.
Because I was able to elevate to the level of where I'm at today, and I'm not saying whatever level that looked like for anyone, wherever they see me at, but it was because I end up surrounded myself around people that said, okay, we can do this, then you can do this. And then I was like, okay, well, then I help somebody else, then you can do this, and you can do. So we kept bringing people up in the process to see people elevate.
Absolutely.
You don't just knock them down.
Yes.
We gotta really, so I really hope that when people watch this video, they understand that we're not trying to say we're keeping anybody at one level or someone else is doing this or why and why not. It's not even our issue. It's about making sure when you look at the funding and the impact into the communities that we serve, we don't need you to just take away. We need you to put more things in place to teach people how to come off of this and be able to bring somebody else that maybe do need it. Because these services is gonna always be needed. Because everybody's not gonna be a millionaire or a billionaire.
Yeah, elevate at the same time.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we just wanna make sure that we're teaching people how to move forward and not just go 5 steps and you gotta take 10 steps back.
Yeah, you can't be stagnant in this space and time, especially in the world we're living in. If you're not paying attention to the drastic changes that are taking place around us, then you need to, and you know, it's important again to educate yourself on the things that are impacting your livelihood overall. What advice would you give advocates who want to have a voice in policy discussions that affect, you know, we're talking a lot about children and families because that's our industry, but in general, if it's something that they're passionate about, you know, what advice would you give them in order to?
Well, for me, the advice I would give anybody is read more. I'm in love with, and it's probably like a free promotion to the Florida channel. I watch how they work on committee floors, and it's like my own podcast, and I just listen to them speak and how they debate and how they discuss it, and how others feel about somebody else's bill and how it impacts. You get to see legislators being very personal.
You said the Florida
channel.
Oh, Florida channel.
You see legislators being very personal about certain issues because it impacts them as well. So you see the human side to things as well while I watch it, and I just love it. I mean, reading and listening to things that really is in that area, that's what I do. And then I try to be in rooms with people that just, they give that type of information. So when I call this, and I say it again, my second chapter in life, right? I came into education at 17, early education at 17. As much as I was hungry for that part of my life, I'm even more hungrier for this part of my life. So it's like just being around the people and just learning and being able to absorb all of that information. I love it. And some things I'm not gonna tell anybody I'm an expert at, cause I'm not. But I'm willing to learn, and I'm teachable and I'm coachable.
So it sounds like, so the people who are around, that you're around, who are as passionate about early child care as you are, emit that community.
Yes.
So you're able to connect with that and evolve and grow as well.
Oh yeah. So I definitely say surround yourself around people that's the things you want to do, they're doing it, but also have some type of insight, because you don't want to be only a taker, you also want to be able to give.
Right.
So even though I'm in the room with them, they might ask me a question and I have the answer to it. If I don't have the answer, I have friends that's in the industry that I can pick up the phone and say, hey, what's going on here or there, and get the answer. So be able to receive, and then I'm also okay to take constructive criticism, because sometimes I could be wrong, or I didn't do enough homework on it, or I could say, oh, I didn't know that yet, because things happen like quickly.
Yes, it changes.
It changes quickly.
Yes.
So what you might have known today, tomorrow, if you're not in it every day, you're gonna miss some of the loop. So I still have a day-to-day life, and sometimes things are going and I don't see it right away, and I try to get home. I be out and I'm checking to see what's happening. But you gotta be around the people, because this is not just let me take from you and then go and start my own thing. No, let me be able to give as well as you giving to me. So I'm grateful for the people that's around. I'm around and I'm able to learn from them. So find people that you can learn from,
Right.
and be able to give back as well.
Yeah, not everybody's free with their information and knowledge as well.
Oh yes.
But you'll feel that once you make that attempt,
Yes.
I think.
Yes.
So talk about a little bit about once you have made those connections, like, you know, you did the internship through the Children's Forum, which was amazing. We did the, Children's Week and met with the different departments and, maybe met with some legislators. What is the aftermath? What would you recommend? Because this was 1 week, even though most of the work took place before, this was just 1 week out of however many they are in a year. What would you recommend advocates do to stay connected?
Locally, it's once they get back, give your legislators a little time to breathe, because they've been at it. They've been working hard. They've been at it. Know your local legislators. really dig into it, understand, maybe go back and look at some of the bills that they have did over the years, if they've been in office long enough, or even this year, like look back at it, read notes, do your homework.
And also see what their views are on childcare.
Oh yes, and on childcare. And then if you have any other issues, because I don't want people to think that you just gotta, because we're gonna go back really quick.
Yeah.
Family childcare has 2 votes, and it's 1 vote, but I say it's 2 votes. You own your home, and you run a business. A center doesn't have that unless they live in that same area where they are able to vote. So you got 2 votes. It impacts your home, and it also impacts your business. So you need to know who represents you in your county.
Yes.
Who is everything? I mean, from the local fire people, you need to know what's going on, because if they switch up something, that impacts your home, that impacts your business.
Right. Absolutely.
So you have 2 votes. Even though you only get to vote once, and we vote legal, we ain't doing nothing else, but we just saying you have 2 votes. So just making sure you give people time, don't rush into their office, have your facts, have your questions, but also say, how can I help you? Because we all want something. They want something, I want something. We want to be effective, but how can I help you as well? And then learn them. Find out, what makes people tick too. You don't want to go in there with all this, okay. And then don't go in there the first time just, can you do this for this and that? No. Hey, how you doing? I just want to let you know.
Right.
Hi, Annette. I see you in my district. You my representative. I just want you to know I'm in the community. I have a family childcare home business, and I just wanted to share that information. Here go 1 sheet about my business. Whenever you get some time, I'd love for you to look at it.
Right. That was easy, simple.
And I left.
Right.
I might see you in the grocery store. I don't know. We might run. Oh, I remember you in that. Yes. Okay. Boom. Oh, okay. Now I got a town hall. Oh,
right.
That go Annette again. Hey, Annette, how you doing?
Absolutely.
We start getting familiar. Then you work your way into, hey, we have a little couple concerns. Oh, I love to hear that. Can a group of you guys want to come? How many?
Yes.
It's all about building that relationship,
Mm-hmm.
and it can't be you yelling and screaming in somebody's office. Do you go to your doctor's office and yell and scream? I want to know what's.
Right.
You go in there because
It's a mutual respect.
It's a respect. So
Absolutely.
you gotta be calm with this, and they're human.
Right.
Treat them like they're human. So it takes time, and they always say a good bill takes 2 years to pass, and we just hope our bill that's being affected this year, SB 738 and House Bill 47 passed this year, because our bill been 3 years.
Yes.
And the 3rd year, we just pray it be the charm. It's just gonna work out, because we've been doing the work, right?
That's right.
We've been doing the work. We've been doing the work. We've been doing the work. And I just want to say, I thank you on the national level as the policy committee and all the things you guys are doing there, because you take that voice back nationally to let them know, hey, this is happening in Florida.
Right.
And just being a part of all of that brings it all in. So I can piggyback off certain things with Annette on certain things like, yeah, this happening here, or this happening there, and we get to collectively bring the information. Or even when I hold advocacy meetings, you like, hold on, no, this is like this, and you make sure you because you out there, you in the field, you're doing the work, and sometimes some people just don't know, and you're able to say, no, they changed this. And other educators that's very educated on what's happening, they are doing the same thing. Hey, no, you just do this form or you do this paper,
Right,
and it just
networking. I mean, that's one of the important things about networking. And like I said, connecting with an organization, an association, and if you want to call it a clique, I guess it's a group of people that have passion and understanding, and we want to work together, whether it's for positive change, for our businesses, for the families, whatever it is, like she said, advocacy work locally, statewide, nationwide. Let's just get the work done, because it's definitely a lot of work that still needs to be done, a lot of changes that still need to be made, and if you're willing and you're up for it, Tell them where they can reach you.
Oh, so you can follow me on Tasheba Berry on Instagram, Facebook, and also my email is info@tashebaberry.com. And just, you see me here, you see me there, you might see me in your city, your county, your state. We just gonna make a lot of moves coming forward with family child care and just education all together, because it's impacting us on every level. So yeah, definitely. You can just find me. You'll find me. If you don't find me, I'll find you. That's how I look at it.
So what's next? You're gonna continue to advocate? Do you have any direct plans? What's your next step, your next move?
Well, I'm gonna continue to advocate. I don't wanna let any things out of the bag yet.
Okay.
So, but I'll always be back on best practices, Unveil, to give y'all
An update.
An
A formal update.
An exclusive update on anything that's happening, and just share. Because if I don't share, you won't know. And listen, just check your emails. Stay in tune on what's about to happen. Because if you know, now you know. Because Tasheba Berry is gonna be everywhere. So thank you. I thank you.
I appreciate that. You know, it's always good having you. It's always good sharing space, and she got some good energy, y'all. She really does, and I love that. Sometimes when I'm here, she can bring me here. Sometimes when I'm here, she can bring me here, and we can do that for each other.
Yes.
So thank you so much for joining us today. We had a very impactful time, and during Children's Week, you saw my social media. It was everywhere. We had a lot of people, and I wanted to bring this back to you guys full circle, because Tasheba had a lot to do with our organization, the Florida Family Child Care Home Association, being a part of Children's Week in the form that it was this year round. We've gone for several years as a state organization, but sometimes we just need a little tweaking to kind of bring things to a better place, and that's what she did for us this year, and I wanted to honor her in that space and this space, and let her know that she was appreciated, and she is appreciated.
Oh, thank you.
And we will continue to support her any way we can with her advocacy work moving forward. Thank you for joining us today. Stay tuned and continue to evolve.